Good morning, everyone. Welcome to episode 15 of the Reload Show. I'm Sean Richard. I got with me today the phenomenal Candido Diaz and the incredible Mark Sullivan. We're so glad you could join us today. We are just three guys sitting around talking about life, talking about mortgage, and how we can build our businesses and hold each other accountable. So glad that you could tune in and join us today. Candido, Mark, good to see you guys.
What is
What's
up?
going on? How's it going?
It is going. It's another week in the mortgage business. The market sentiment, I feel like, has started to shift over the last few weeks. So I think we're having some good movement there. I don't know. What are you guys seeing in the market right now?
Definitely some more activity. Definitely some buyers that I've had sitting on the sidelines for a minute, kind of coming back to life, asking questions, trying to get pre-approvals and things like that. So I'm definitely noticing a shift there for sure. I got 2 contracts over the weekend, which breaks a pretty long drought of mine. So I don't want to rush wins, but that's going to be my win.
Awesome. Candido, how about you? What's your market? And for those if you're tuning in for the first time, we're in 3 different markets. I'm down here in Texas. Mark is in St. Louis, Missouri, Tennessee.
Nashville.
Nashville.
Beautiful living room.
Candido is holding down Boston and the New England area. So Candido, man, what are you seeing in the market right now?
Repping the East Coast over here. So yeah, I was kind of telling you guys, last week, it's definitely interesting because although this week the weather is starting to change, that plays a big factor into the market up here. And changing for the better. Thank God. Well, I was 2 weeks ago, I was on this call and it was a different sentiment. We were getting over 8 inches of snow and it was weird, but I will say definitely the activity has been pretty good. So I'd say it's more right now than it is this time of year usually. So if that's any indication, I'm here for it. So let's go.
I love it. Well, we're going to kick off the show like we always do. We're going to jump into wins and losses over the last week. So Mark, hey, why don't you kick us off with your highs and lows since last Tuesday?
Yeah, for sure. Well, definitely 2 contracts over the weekend give me my win. And just, kind of like what I mentioned, just an overall more positive tone to a lot of the conversations that I've been having. I've been noticing, at least around me, just actually noticing yard signs of a lot more activity of houses going on the market, which is always positive as well. As we head into March, we know that we're heading into typically a strong buyer season. So let's hope that holds up. Hope that holds up this spring. I don't have a whole lot of losses. It's been a good week. I'd say if I have any losses, it's probably the consistency of social media posts. I just not being consistent with those at all. And missing my steps one day by like 100 steps. That was extremely frustrating. We do, if you're tuning in for the first time, we do 10,000 steps a day as part of our accountability group. And I was about 100 away. I knew it. I got really wrapped into what I was doing, and I looked up at the clock and realized that it was 12:15, and I really hadn't moved at all. And so I lost that one by like 100 steps, and that just kind of irked me a little bit. But
Mark got caught up watching Nick at Night. It happens.
Yeah, it's really Welcome Back, Kotter is definitely my favorite there. But I would say another win is just having conversations. Oh, I joined a networking group. In Middle Tennessee. Really excited about that. We meet every Thursday at noon over Zoom. So really excited about that. I get to meet 5 new people that I've never met before, and actually 3 people that are in the group I already know and have a relationship with. So I'm really excited about that. And like I said, that's every Thursday. Honestly, just bringing some value to our real estate partners for sure is another win.
Mark is stringing the Wednesday. Man, save some for next week, man. Save some for next week.
Save some for the rest of us.
I love the game blur. Just boom, boom, boom.
All right, Candido, man. Tell us about your week. Where you winning, where you losing, buddy?
So, as you know, I always start with the negative and end with the positive because that's just me. So, negative, I got one for you. So, I received an extremely, let's just say, contentious email. It was about 45 at night. It looked like from the grammar, there may have been some drinks involved. It was interesting. And, something
No good emails that happen after 7 p.m.
No. So, it's one of those things I learned early on in my career. I hit reply, and the first thing that I do when I hit reply is I remove the person's email address. What the heck do I mean? Well, it prevents me from accidentally hitting send. In case if I need to vent for a second, I can go ahead, do so, type whatever it is I want out, and then say, okay, now that you're a little bit more mature, you can go ahead and delete what you said and react in a good manner. So that was my negative. Obviously, I vented whatever, and I replied professionally. And in the end, everything was fantastic. But, it's just funny how you can go ahead and separate yourself by reacting negatively right away, or take a step back, relax, and reply in a professional manner. So, yeah. The positive, I had a really good week. Had a closing on Friday, and then met with a broker owner. And he's a young guy, really, he's a go-getter, has about 40 to 50 agents underneath him. And I used to do his deals. I used to do his personal deals when I was at a different company. So, we kind of reconnected, rekindled. He's expecting his first kid and is going to be a girl dad. So a lot of things in common, and it was really good to catch up. So going to be doing some more stuff with his team, but I'm really, really excited. It was a fantastic week. So Sean, what do you got going on over there?
Man, it's been an interesting week. So the highs and the lows have been definitely the peaks and the valleys. Got a really, really challenging client clear to close. Like it was just everything that could have been a curveball was a curveball. Got a really challenging client. Oh no, this is my loss. Don't worry, no clapping yet. Had a really challenging client. Got her clear to close. Fantastic. We're just chilling until closing. And I get a text from her real estate agent last Wednesday evening. Hey, Sean, wanted to let you know, client left the country. Not sure when she's going to get back. And so we are still trying to connect with said client. And we're just waiting to hear back. We don't even have the ability to take evasive maneuvers just yet. We got to wait until she gets back into town, and then we can address that. So that is an ongoing loss for me right now. Win, man, I had a huge win. So last week, I nailed down adding to my team. I'm bringing on a new loan officer to my team. Really, really excited to bring him on board. This is a loan officer that's currently been doing 4 to 6 million, not getting really any of the support that he needs from his current company and management. And so I've been working on him for about 6 months. He's a really loyal guy, which I appreciate, but he was loyal to a fault. And so been working on him, got him to cut ties. He's going to be coming on board here in the next couple of weeks, and we're going to help take him from that 4 to 6 million to 12, 18, 24 million. I think he's got the potential to do that with the tools, resources, and strategies that we're going to be giving him on our team. So looking forward to that. Big win for me and the team, and for this loan officer as well. So that's what the last week has looked like for me. All right, guys.
Awesome. Congrats.
Now we've been in a series. So, anyone's been following us over the last few weeks, there's been a theme to what we've been talking about, and we've been focused on how we're adding value to our real estate partners and to real estate prospects, right? We want to use this value to bring on new partners, to build new relationships. And so we're going to be continuing with that theme today. And so, Candido, why don't you kind of give everyone a highlight or an overview of kind of the theme of today, and then I'll let you kick us off with ultimate value number 1 for today.
Why, thank you, sir. So today, what we got upcoming on the Reload Show. So yeah, we're going to be talking and diving a little bit deeper into strategies for agents. So, how can we go ahead and build value around different strategies for agents and or just other referral partners? When it comes to what I want to talk about, I'm sure you're not surprised if you follow me or this show at all. I would lead with social media, right? It's not necessarily that I am the greatest at it, but I stay consistent. And it's all about consistency in order to stay top of mind to your customers, clients, partners, etc. So, if it were up to me and I would, talking to agents, and when I do talk to them, that's one of the things that I bring up. And frankly, if it's someone that I'm familiar with or they're familiar with me, a lot of times they'll ask me different things about, what I do. So that's one strategy that you can kind of bring to agents. And another thing that I did want to say is, out of all the strategies that we bring up, if you're not an expert in any of them, there's nothing stopping you from going ahead and doing your own research and becoming an expert in it, right? Or at least coming up with some sort of value to bring with these strategies to these agents. It's all about, when you're meeting with them, to try and figure out, okay, let me listen and take one thing that I can go ahead, try and bring back to this person. So that way you can go ahead and generate a value, right? The other one that I wanted to say was, even with social media, is ChatGPT. You can use ChatGPT to go ahead and create a content calendar, come up with different topics, inspiration. Frankly, that can be its own value right there. But that's another thing that you can bring to agents. I know I just recently taught a class. I believe all 3 of us have taught a class on AI, and at least 2 agents. So it's something that is key right now in figuring out, okay, if the market isn't as good, what can you do to help differentiate yourself? And both of those strategies are something that you can bring to agents to be able to help bring value.
I love it. Super important being able to teach agents how to be effective with those strategies. Mark, you've got some strategies that you leverage to attract new agents and bring value to your agents. Kind of what's one of the things that you're doing to make those relationships sticky? Oh, you're on mute, bud.
To be fair, Mark has never sounded so good.
To be fair, I was really afraid I wasn't going to figure out how to do
I'm
that.
just happy we don't have a Chiefs helmet sitting behind him. Maybe after the show, you can go play a little bit of Mozart's concerto on that piano back there.
Yeah, that's actually directly after this call. So it depends on who I'm talking to, right? if it's top of funnel, agents, people I haven't talked too much and I'm trying to attract them in. My best and biggest net is webinars that I teach on a weekly basis. But I think with the focus of this episode, I think we're talking about the one-on-one conversations and the value adds that we can bring to current and future referral partners. And my go-to whenever we're either on a Zoom meeting or we're having coffee, meeting live in person, my go-to is talking about something that everybody can do, right? If you bring up a specific strategy that's just unique, maybe it's unique to you, maybe it's unique to a specific agent, you're just kind of throwing things at the wall and seeing if they stick. If you go with a generalized approach, especially for your first conversation, you don't know them, they don't know you. Let's talk about something that really works for everybody. And that's sphere of influence marketing, right? So everybody has a sphere of influence. I don't care who you are. And if you don't, it's really easy to grow one nowadays with social media. But we just start with a simple strategy of texting 10 people a day. It's not about business at first, but it's just reconnecting with everybody that's in your database, everybody that's in your phone, and everybody that is a Facebook friend, right? So you can Facebook message anybody that you're friends with. And I preach 10 to 20 a day, and you just send the text out. Hey, Rob, how you doing? Hey, Susan, how are you doing? Right. And start a conversation. They're happy to hear from you. You're happy to hear from them. You bring it up, and then you take it to business a little bit, and you say, hey, I'm updating my database for 2024. Is it okay if I'm updating my database for 2024? What's your best email? Or if you're on Facebook, hey, what's your best phone number? And doing things like that gets them into your database. It starts asking them questions about real estate, and it starts to pull some interest out of them if there is any. There's a stat that says 10% of everybody that you know is going to move within the next 12 months. I believe that number's higher this year because people have been sitting on the bench for the last couple of years, right? So text people in your phone. There are literally deals sitting in your phone waiting for you just to reach out. People you already know, people that know, like, and trust you, that are just, they're thinking about it, but they don't really have all the facts, and they haven't really been given a reason to reach out to somebody to get those facts. And a, hey, how are you, can really trigger that. Then you just move on to Facebook friends, commenting on people's Facebook posts, bringing it to Facebook Messenger. I guess in my time restraints here, we'll just say, make sure you reach out to 10 to 20 people a day, see how they're doing, add them to your database, and just ask them a couple questions. Are you still a homeowner, or are you renting or owning these days? Something really easy that gets a response from them. You could send out 20 in the morning, and they'll just come in throughout the day. And whenever you have a spare time to look at your phone, just respond to all the messages. It's really quite simple. And 10%, you could have a deal within a couple of days, or certainly within a month, for sure.
I love that, Mark. And, I think this is a good time to remind you, those who are pro members, the three of us have actually done the last 3 next level live calls on Wednesdays. So if you're a pro member, you have access to go ahead and view that if you haven't already. Sean, you want to go ahead and give us what you want to talk about today?
Yeah. So one of the strategies, so let me actually preface this by saying a big part of my business model is to help agents run a real estate business. I personally think there's a big difference between just doing real estate and running a business that does real estate. Because a lot of the activities, a lot of the strategies, the marketing that real estate agents need to put into place really are just solid business activities, solid business marketing. You could take a lot of the strategies and you could apply them to almost any industry that has to do with sales. And so one of the biggest strategies that I teach agents to help them grow their business is a bit of a long-term play, and it's multifaceted. So I call ultimate Google review strategy, and Google and really reviews in general are critically important in today's day and age. And I remind agents that if they build a big enough Google review presence, they will start getting organic phone calls from people looking on Google. So there's a lead generation component to this. However, the other piece of that puzzle is that whenever agents meet new clients, unless they already have an extremely deep relationship with that person, there's a good chance that that client or that prospect is going to go look them up online, and they're going to Google them, and they're going to find some information online. The more positivity that they can find online, the more social proof that they can find online, the better chances that that real estate agent is going to land that client. So the ultimate Google review strategy that I teach agents is a way for them to accelerate those Google reviews. A lot of us and a lot of agents think that, oh, well, I helped this client, I'm going to reach out, I'm going to try and get them to give me a review. And that's great. If you do 10 transactions, you get 10 reviews. I teach agents how to take 10 transactions and convert it to 40 to 50 reviews. And that's because every single party to that transaction has the ability to provide a review. Everyone interacted with the agent. Everyone can give their feedback on how that experience was. So I teach agents with scripting, timing, how to present. I teach them how to get 4 to 5 reviews from every transaction that they close, accelerating their Google reviews and getting to that critical mass level much faster, and allows them to win more deals. So my ultimate Google review strategy is definitely one of my super secret techs that I teach agents to help them grow their business. A little bit of a longer term play, but a massive boon for their business over that time frame.
That's awesome.
Now, Candido, you have recently done some extra networking, if I'm not mistaken, and so you wanted to talk a little bit about that. So tell us what value do you add to your real estate agents? How do you teach them that strategy, and what are some of the key nuggets that's important for real estate agents to know, or that we as loan officers can teach real estate agents on that strategy?
Yeah, so there's a few different things I wanted to bring up about this. So one, everybody should be doing that right now, right? It's Mark just joined a new networking group. If you are still sitting on your butt in 2024 and expecting the market to change tomorrow, you know what? That's not going to work anymore, right? There's a lot fewer loan officers out there right now. There's a lot fewer realtors out there right now than there were this time last year. So it's important to be seen and be heard, and make sure that you are making the most of your days, right? I was just having this conversation with someone from my company this morning. It's every single week I have things to do. It's not like I'm just sitting around. So, I think just being out there is a key point that, I want to go ahead and express. It's a lot of value in doing that. And, another thing I wanted to bring up is while you're at these networking groups, you want to go ahead and you don't want to sound too scripted, but you do want to have at least something to say. You want to have a little bit of an elevator pitch. And if that means you're practicing in the mirror or in front of your spouse, whatever, you want to make sure that you have a little bit of an elevator pitch. I know that it's funny because my wife was actually telling me that she was recently at a woman in business event last month, and she said all the loan officers there, and she actually met a realtor as well, were just telling her how bad the market was. That is not what you want to lead with when you're meeting people for the very first time. So as silly as it sounds, you want to have be positive, smile, and have at least a short elevator pitch. That's something that you can bring as value to your realtors, referral partners, and to yourself as you kind of start to get out there, especially in the spring where there's a lot more events going on.
Awesome. Let me add one more thing to that, because I love the networking play, and I'm so hot take, unpopular take. Most people do networking incorrectly. And so one of the added pieces to the networking strategy that I think it's important to help real estate agents gently is to have them reach out to the event organizer. And the three of us, we've talked about this before, right? Reach out to the event organizer, get buddy with them, and then at the event, ask the event organizer to start introducing you to some of the people there, because they know a lot more people there than the agent or than we likely do. And so it's a way to easily get a warm introduction. So teaching agents how to be intentional with that strategy, and I would say that that's probably the biggest key for all of these strategies that we've touched on today, is when we're working with our real estate partners or prospective partners and we're helping them implement these strategies, we're essentially helping them be more intentional with their business. Because I know a lot of real estate agents, and some of them are extremely intentional with the way that they do their business. Others are they do things as they think about it. And although they may be having some success with that, I would argue that they'll have significantly more success if they strategize, get more intentional with their actions. Mark, you wanna throw a couple comments in? Oh, on mute again.
A little faster this time. A little faster. All right. Yeah, I mean, those were all great. Those are all great approaches, all great strategies. I think the show is filled with them, and I always want to say, you don't need to take all of these and immediately put them into your game plan. Pick the one that suits you well, right? Pick the one that fits your business plan, so that whenever you're discussing this with your agents or with your referral partners, that whenever they have questions back to you, you've got experience to lean on there, instead of, oh, I don't know, I was just regurgitating what Sean said, right? One big thing that I like to add is the follow-up. It's after the close, right? So both real estate agents and loan officers have long periods of time between most of the time have long periods of time between periods of helping a single client. There's NAR stats out there that say, and 85% of stats are all made up on the spot, right? I'm going to get these stats wrong, but they're like 88% or 91% of people, home buyers, say that they would use a real estate agent again, but only like 22% of them actually do. And the reason is not over that 4-year period or 3-year period that they didn't need help. They didn't all of a sudden change their opinion about that real estate agent. They didn't all of a sudden change their opinion about their loan officer. What they did was not get contacted for 4 years, and they just kind of forgot about them. And whenever it came time for them to buy or sell again, they went with the first agent that spoke to them, whether it be through a lead source or through a yard sign. And honestly, all it really takes is consistent follow-up. And the moral of the story is it's better if you don't do it alone, and you lean on your partners to help you with that follow-up. If you're a loan officer, take content from a real estate agent and co-brand that follow-up, or from a home maintenance specialist, right? They're a homeowner now. Most people, once they buy a home, just like they didn't know anything about the loan process, they likely don't know anything about the home ownership process, the part of it either. So partnering and making videos with a local handyman or a local home maintenance professional could go a long way in adding really good value to your follow-up, instead of happy grilled cheese day or here's a chicken cacciatore recipe. Those little changes. bringing good value in your follow-up will bridge that gap between the 89 that says they will and the 22% that actually say they do. Yeah, guys, good show. Anything to add?
I just want to say thanks everybody tuning in today. Hopefully you found one of these strategies appealing for your business and your market. And I would say if you're not already part of the next level organization, the next level community, check it out. Love to have you in there. The Next Level Pro community. We're dropping nuggets all the time to help loan officers build their business. If you have any more questions about any of the strategies that we've covered today, feel free to reach out to Candido, Mark, or myself. Oh, guys, our tags aren't on our names today. We got to fix that next week. All right.
Yeah, it wasn't a thing when I came on.
Thanks so much for joining us today. For Candido, Mark, myself, have an incredible rest of your week.
See you next week.